Hey friends, Marilyn here. My apologies in advance. I accidentally deleted the audio for this episode. I know. I was so upset at myself, but we have the audio from the camera, so it'll have to do for this episode. But thank you so much for clicking on this episode. We are so blessed to have you here. And if you are listening on the drop day, happy International Friendship Day. This episode is all about friendship, so we hope that you enjoy it and have a love-filled day. On to the episode. Hi friends, welcome back to Wish You Love Podcast. I'm Marilyn.
And I'm Jazmine.
And this is
Rochelle.
Yay! She's our first guest on Wish You Love Podcast, and we are so happy to have you here.
Yes, thank you so much for joining. We're excited for this episode and hope you guys are too. So feel free to put a little heart or like an excitement emoji if you guys are excited.
And we'll link down Rochelle's social media if you would like to follow her and follow her on all her adventures. Rochelle traveled all the way down here from Washington, so we're very happy to have you. How are you living in California so far?
Oh, I love it here. It's so good to visit again.
Yeah.
And to see you and to meet Jazmine. It's such an honor to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Do you want to start us off with maybe how you guys met?
So Marilyn and I, we connected through Instagram. And, we follow each other on there. And then we met in Disneyland, and it was such a nice way that we met. We were texting each other, we're like, we're both going to be in Disneyland today. And, it was like, we saw each other from a distance. It was by the Ariel's ride. Yeah, so Ariel means a lot to us. And when we saw each other, we just knew, like, yeah.
And it was cute because she was dressed up as Ariel that day, actually like a Disney bound, and I was doing a Jasmine bound. It was weird because I was low-key like Pocahontas bound, but then my ears were Jasmine because I didn't have Pocahontas ears at the time. But so when we go back to Disney, we're actually doing a princess bound again all these years later, which will be very, very fun. Jazmine and I are actually going to ask Rochelle a few Disney rapid fire questions. We had been doing this for a few episodes. We did the Walt Disney World episode and we did Jazmine's Disneyland episode. So we're just going to ask Rochelle a few questions. Do you want to start us off, Jazmine, asking her a question?
Yeah. Okay. So first question, what is your favorite Disney princess?
My favorite has to be Belle from Beauty and the Beast. Ever since I was a little girl, I love the story, how beauty is from within. And that really resonated with me.
I love that. And she's currently getting her bachelor's right now, so I definitely bet you feel like that when you're in the library, the great library at your university.
Oh yes, I love to read.
Yeah.
I love stories, telling stories, interviewing.
Oh, that's nice. We got Jasmine, Belle, Pocahontas, all the princesses.
Hopefully one day we could all do Disney bound.
Yeah, that would be very nice. Yeah, when she comes down again, we'll like plan it out where we can all go hit up Disney and do all that stuff. Even if it's just downtown Disney, because downtown Disney is really fun.
Yes, remember the first time we went together?
Yeah, that was really fun.
Yes.
We did kind of a princess bound too. Just the ears.
Yeah.
She did Jasmine and I did Ariel at the time. Yeah, it's always fun to go to Disney. Okay, so I'll ask you the next question. So what is your favorite Disney ride? It could be from both parks.
Okay, I'd have to pick Soarin' over California.
Yeah. California, not the world.
Well, when I was little, that's the one that I saw. So, yeah, that one just really stood out to me. I love that, you're lifted off the ground. You feel like you're flying. It's like a whole new world, Aladdin kind of vibe. And, you see these pictures and can feel the wind. Yeah, it's a very immersive experience, and I love that.
Oh, I like that. That's good.
Okay, everyone who watches and knows me, Marilyn, you know this.
Yeah.
I'm a huge foodie.
Yeah.
So what is your favorite, do you have any favorite, like, snack or drink or treat?
Okay. I love smoothies. I've been really into making my own smoothies in my apartment. So I get, the banana base, orange juice, or you can put in any kind of fruit, really. from berries to, oh, I love strawberries. Let's see. Yeah, just anything I have in the fridge that can be in a smoothie, I'll put it in there. Oh, and the secret ingredient is turmeric. It just brightens all the flavors.
Wow.
Tastes really good.
Have you had smoothies at DCA?
No.
Wow, yeah, they have a smoothie shop, smoothies. Yeah.
Okay. That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
But specifically at Disneyland.
I'll have to try it, yeah.
What is your favorite
treat?
At Disneyland?
Yeah, or drink?
I'd have to say beignets.
Beignets, yeah.
Yeah, those are so good.
Yeah.
Like, I crave beignets.
Oh,
but I only ever
nice.
get them at Disney.
Yeah, that's good.
They're really good.
There's so many good treats at Disney. It's like, how do you choose one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, beignets. We're going during Pixar Fest, so there's going to be a lot of new treats to try. So she might have a new favorite treat after the end of our trip. She might be like, no, this is better than beignets. Maybe. Who knows? What is your favorite Disney memory?
I'd have to say when I first met you.
Aww.
Yeah, it was just like one of those moments that's like once in a lifetime, you know, and it felt really magical the way that it happened, because having, you know, our new friendship, you know, getting to know each other. And I remember, you know, we saw each other from a distance. We met by the Ariel's ride, and I wasn't sure like if we're just going to like say hi, but we ended up hanging out the whole day. Yeah, and it was just so nice. We even watched the fireworks at the end.
Yeah, we did.
World of Color was it?
Yeah, it was World of Color. Yeah,
okay,
that's right.
And it was just a really magical day.
Yeah.
I'm so thankful. Yeah.
I am thankful too. It's interesting because I remember what I was going to say earlier. I had forgotten what I was going to say, but at the end of our hangout, like when it was time to go, like depart, like she's going her way and I went my way, Anthony was like, wow, I never seen you click with somebody that fast. It's like you've known her your whole life. And I truly do believe in soul friends, like friends that you feel like you've known in other lifetimes. I have a few people in my life that are like that, and Rochelle is definitely one of those people. We call each other like soul sisters. I called her mom soul mama, just because we do feel like we're siblings, and like her mom is my mom. Her grandma literally called today.
Yes.
She's so I was like, geez, like she's so lucky. She has such a nice grandma. She called me her granddaughter. She was saying, I'm praying for you. Like, girl, what? Like, wow, to have somebody pray for you, that's like a whole nother love.
Yeah,
like, that's so nice.
She's just so proud of you. Just to know how far you've come and all your accomplishments.
Oh, thank you. What do you call her? You call her your
I call her my Amma.
Amma,
yeah. Short for grandma.
Yeah. Amma. It's cute. Yeah. I love that. What do you call your grandma, Jasmine? Do you just call her grandma? Amma. Oh, like ma.
Really
Oh, I love that. It does sound similar, actually. Now that I think about it.
Just different way of saying it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's funny. I just call mine grandma. It's so plain. But I think that's what she wanted, so I don't know. But yeah. Oh, well, thank you so much for sharing with us, Rochelle. And we're so happy to have you here as our first guest. Well, Jasmine, do you want to read our question of the episode?
Yes. So for today's episode, because we're all about friendship, we thought today's reflection question can be about friendship. So pull out your journals, get out your headphones if you're going on a hot girl walk or you're driving, and let's jump into it.
Yeah.
So for today's question, it is, have you made any new friends in recent years? How does the process of making friends feel different from when you were younger? So all about friendship again, and kind of that growth journey that we're all on at this moment. And to kick us off, you can go ahead and get us started.
So just this past quarter, for spring quarter, I've met a whole new community of friends in college, and it truly has inspired me so much to step out of my comfort zone, to try new things, to just learn from them and be inspired by them. And one of the things that we bonded over was dance. We learned how to swing dance. Yes. I joined a dance club called Sayaw, and it's the Filipino traditional folk dance. And it has truly helped me learn more about my heritage. I'm Filipina, and just, to learn about the history of these dances and how much it means to our ancestors, just to know more about the history of the Philippines. It's truly been such a beautiful experience. And through that dance club, I've met friends in the dance troupe, and then I joined a Bible study group. I've been making new friends every day because we always get new people to join. And then we go out for lunch. We've had group gatherings. We went out to the park and we just played volleyball. It was such a great day. Just, get to know each other, to bond. And I truly feel like, meeting people in person and naturally is the best way to make genuine and meaningful friendships. Yeah, that's just where I'm coming from.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's really awesome that you're finding your new friendships and like group of people in terms of where you're at in life right now. I'm gonna kind of touch about that in a sec, but I love that, and it's nice to know that through one thing it leads the door to another, and like a new, you said so yourself, like you started off with dance and then now it's like Bible study, right?
Yes.
So it's like all like connecting and like coming together from one decision of just, okay, I'm going to start opening up and like challenging myself to do something. So I love to hear that.
Yeah, Rochelle's been telling me about these new friends of hers, and it's honestly very difficult nowadays to find genuine friendships because, like Rochelle was saying, like the best method to do so is to find them in your everyday life. But I think the lovely part about how you're making your friendships is through like things that are really important to you, right? Like your faith and your culture, right? So that's it's like a deep level of friendship, right? And I love that. Sometimes you have friends, but they can't get to that level of really personal stuff like that. Like I feel like faith and culture is very personal. And so it's lovely that you found people that share the same beliefs as you. And honestly, like learning different dances, like Jasmine's a dancer, I was a cheerleader, you were a cheerleader.
Yes, I was a cheerleader.
Yeah, and it's just like, it's just a amazing way to not only express yourself, but to as well to work out, an outlet if you're ever angry or just sad or stressed because you're doing a bachelor's program. Like it's just a good outlet. And same with Bible study.
Yes.
Yeah. A lot of new lessons to learn every day. How far can you push yourself? How much can you memorize? Like, it's a lot of good stuff. I'm happy that you're doing that. And I wish I was doing that. Like, that seems so nice, to find. I was telling her, like, I want to do folklorico dances. I was telling you that, remember? Like, a few months ago. Like, yeah, just to get in touch with your culture. Because I think we've talked about this too. Like, as Americans, Jasmine, she's Chicana, right? Like Mexican American. I'm Chicana and Bolivian, but I wasn't born in Bolivia or I wasn't born in Mexico. We're Americans, So it's like, and she's, her family's from the Philippines. And so over time, as generations pass, you lose certain things, and it's like little by little. So it's lovely when you get to kind of go back to those roots, because back then they would learn dances like that when they were little, and we just don't anymore because that's extra.
Yeah, I feel like it's because I've thought about that before in terms of like, we've talked about this on the podcast, but like how you want to raise your kids and like things that you want to implement.
Right.
And so I know sometimes I think about that where I'm like, oh my gosh, like I can't just speak English in the household or else they're going to lose that, and like what you're saying, little by little. And like language is like a huge thing where like it might seem silly, like it's fine, they just don't speak Spanish, but like, or Tagalog or whatever the case is, but that actually really is the root of your culture, like the language that you speak. So I thought about that right now when you were mentioning that. Like that is like my biggest fear. Like I need to practice and continue to use my Spanish. And sometimes I even tell Angel, like, you better start learning, because I know he doesn't know. He understands it, but he doesn't speak it. Because I'm like, I want our kids to, not lose it and, like, have it with them.
I love that you mentioned that, because that is actually bringing up kids. That's something that I've been thinking about, because I'm going, like, farther back than Spanish. Like, I've been learning our indigenous language. I think I've told you this before. I'm learning Quechua, and my next goal is Aymara. I kind of put a pause on it because I've been busy, but this summer I'm hitting up, making sure that every month I have, like, certain phrases, certain things to learn. And one thing I thought, you know, because I want my children to be accustomed to, if I tell them munakwiki, they know I'm saying I love you, right? I want them to be accustomed to just, even if it's little phrases, it's something, you know? And I actually want that to be the first word that they hear is in Quechua and munakwiki. I want that to be the first thing that they hear from me. And yeah, so it's super important, and it's important to know your history as well. Like, you know, my grandpa telling me about how his dad, so my great grandpa, spoke Aymara y Quechua, and I'm just like, wow, like, why was that lost? But I'm reminded that being indigenous is seen as like poor, uneducated, and so these white ideologies, I don't want to make this into like a lecture or anything, but these ideologies end up getting passed down and brainwashing people, right? And like, it sucks because they were brainwashed to thinking Spanish is right, and then they come to this country and they're like, English is right, and it's like, now they're seeing Spanish, even though that was the colonizer language, now they're seeing Spanish being taken out by a different colonizer language. So it's just interesting. I will say me and like Jazmine speaks Spanish very, very, very well. I only understand it 1,000%, but I think my speaking skills are like 80%. Like, I don't think it's good. But my boyfriend, he understands, but speaks very little. So I'm like, dang, like our kids, it's going to be like, yeah.
So I said practice. You gotta practice.
Well, I'm learning the Filipino language, Tagalog.
Yeah.
And that has been really helpful in broadening my perspective on how important it is to learn the language that my parents and
your grandma,
their
right?
grandparents. Yeah.
Your grandma speaks it, right?
Yes, my grandma knows. Yeah, she knows Tagalog. She kind of speaks Taglish now, though.
Okay.
A mix of Tagalog and English, so I can kind of catch on to what she's talking about. Yeah, but I don't
never heard of that.
Yeah.
So to repeat the question here, have you made any new friends in recent years? How does the process of making friends feel different from when you were younger? So the way that I would answer this question is, I have made new friends in recent years, Marilyn being one of them.
Yeah.
And the process of it, and it's so funny because this is literally what had happened when I first met Marilyn. You know, I think that as you start to grow up, you lose and gain new friendships, right? That's really normal, I think, in the process. I know it was really hard for me to understand when I was younger because I was always such a, I'm going to be friends with these friends for the rest of my life, without realizing that now I see it as and we've talked about this before, like all love, no hate. It's just different chapters in life, and sometimes friends just weed out depending on where you're at with your thoughts, or, you know, the people you want to surround yourself with. And so I think the process has changed, right? When I was younger, I feel like, I don't know if you guys could agree, that oftentimes it was association was how you made friendships. It was the person who was in my fourth period, or who sat next to me, or my mom's, I don't know, friend's daughter or son. And so I think that was kind of like how friendships started when you're young, versus as you continue to grow up, like I mentioned, it starts to become more into, well, where are you in life now, and what do you want in friendships, right?
Period.
It goes far beyond just, I just want someone to go to the mall with me, or I don't know. I feel like it's like, the way I view it now is like, I want someone that could help me grow into a better version of myself, someone that inspires me to do something, whether that be to cook better, or to work harder, or work out, or like, I want to, might sound kind of bad, but like a give and take friendship, aside from just the genuine love and support that you have for each other. And so, yeah, I think that's how I would answer this question. And like I said, Marilyn, you know this, when I first met you, I literally was like, I'm looking for new friendships that are, I don't even remember the exact wording that I used with you, but I know it was something along with, I like your energy, I like the way you think, because it's very similar to the way I think and where I'm at right now.
Right.
And yeah. That's my like response to this question.
I was like screaming in my head, like, fill your cup. Meaning like the people that you're friends with or, you know, that you have a relationship with should fill your cup.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you shouldn't be dependent on people. Like they shouldn't be your source of happiness or your source of guidance. Like you should find that within yourself. But they should be people filling your cup, not draining it, type of thing. And that's what I'm getting from what you're saying. And I was like, yeah, fill your cup. Like you should be around people like-minded. But even if they're not like-minded, but in a perspective that is only going to bring you up, type of thing.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because
Yes.
I don't have friends that all think like me. Like they're not all religious or they're not all this, that. But I think that they bring something of value to my life. So I'm like, yeah. I would like to ask you, I'm just curious, what do I bring to your life? I'm like, what do I bring to the table, like, to your life? I just don't know.
I would say that 100% agreed with what you said. First, I do want to say that because if any of my friends who listen, and you know this, you've met my friends, they're nothing the same.
different.
They're all different. So 100% agree that doesn't. What I meant to say was not, oh, they all have to be type A in order to be my friend. Yeah. But I would say, Marilyn, what you bring to my life that I feel like I relate and that I learn from you is the reflection aspect of life, if that makes sense.
Yes. Like that growth mindset.
Yes, the growth mindset. The we can talk and about these reflections. What? I'm just thinking.
I've heard people tell me, they're like, you make me like think about shit. It's never just like, hey, let's get some ice cream. I'm like talking about like something deep as hell. No, yeah, reflect on your life.
Yeah, and I think that's really important as you grow up as like a person, for healing, for navigating certain situations, understanding yourself better,
where you were right and wrong.
Yeah. And so I think that's what you bring. Hence why we, you know, when you offered this podcast and I said yes, I was like, it makes sense because these are topics and questions that I want to answer and that we talk about sometimes even off the pod. Yeah. So
exactly. Sometimes when I'm hanging out with her friends, they're like, we're like, actually, we talked about this on like, y'all should listen. I want to hear what you have to say, but I wanted to say, I think it's a great question, like on a pause before I answer and before you respond to what she says. But like what we bring to each other in our lives. And so, Jazmine, I feel like what you bring to me is fun. Like, I feel like you're such a like free spirit. Like you always have fun. Like your little birthday party, she's going to like some type of bar. Never would I do that. You know what I mean? She brings that other element of like, it gets me a little bit out of my shell, out of my comfort zone type of thing. That's what I feel like you mostly bring, is like you bring the fun, the different, like the fact that you brought me to a vegan restaurant. I know like I'm vegetarian, but I've never like done that. Like, I don't know. Like you bring something different to the table, like new experiences. Yeah. And then Rochelle, I feel like what you bring into my life is honestly, I feel like you are the perfect role model of like how do I say, how patient and kind I want to be. Like she's really nice. Like sometimes she'll tell me stories of how people treat her. And I'm like, what? Ew. And she's like, I'm sure they didn't mean it. I'm like, girl, yes, they did. Trust me. And she's so nice, but I love that about her. And I wish, you know, I feel like life turns you a certain way, obviously experiences, but I love how pure you are, like that you see the good in everybody. Like I feel like I see people for what they give me, type of thing. But she sees the good. Even if they show her bad, she's like, no, I'm sure there was a reason. And I'm like, what was the reason? Because there's no reason why you should be doing that.
So I kind of, you know, I always try to see the positive side of things. And I think what has helped me a lot with that as of recently is making friends who have that positivity mindset and who encourage and motivate me to step out of my comfort zone and to try those new things. And there's something about having that support system surround you with love and encouragement and just that goodness. I think it's because I've experienced that, I do want to see the good in people and have that hope in humanity, just because I would rather live in a world full of love than the opposite,
She's the meaning of wish you love.
Oh.
That's nice.
I really relate to what you were saying about growth, because I feel like with having, new friends and just continuing to make more friends, having them, meet you where you are and be with you in those times of, having to find healing, having to find comfort in conversations, and just having someone by your side as you're going through your battles. Because, life isn't easy. There's always something that we're going through, and you never know what other people are going through, but having those type of friends who are willing to listen, to dedicate time to be present with you, I think that's one of the most valuable attributes in a person, in a friend. And that's what gravitates me towards all the friends that I meet. It's the ones that, will sit with you through the hard times and will bring you to the light at the end of the tunnel.
I love that. Thank you for adding to that. I love what both of you guys said. It spoke to me for sure. I don't know. I just really liked it, and I love this question. Rochelle chose the theme of friendship today in this episode. So if you're thinking of that friend that you love a lot, or that you're just thinking of them right now, share this episode with them. I'm sure that they'd love to hear that they love you. So if they made it this far in the episode, that person loves you. All right, can you read the question one more time, Jasmine?
So, have you made any new friends in recent years? How does the process of making friends feel different from when you were younger?
1000% agree with Jasmine about I almost said situationships, but like when you meet people, not situationships. Like when you meet people by association is what you said. That's so true. But I think what I think of, yes, I have made many friends outside of my childhood, but every friend group that I have, or friendships, I associate them with a certain time in my life, except for a few. But for instance, I think of my high school friends. I had a lot of guy friends in high school, so I think of them, always have love for them. I haven't hung out with them in a hot minute, but I always have love for them, and I would love to hang out with them still till this day, and it would be good vibes. I know we'd had fun and laughed together and all that good stuff, and geez, what would I have done without them during high school? And I think of, my childhood best friend, Renee, and I think of my new best friends like you two, in my, I was about to say early 20s. Well, Rochelle, early 20s, but my mid-20s there. But I think the friendship that I was thinking about that stood out the most to me when I heard this question was my friends during the master's program. Chris, Naomi, and Carla. You guys all three, individually and together, were a huge part of my life. I delivered a speech at my graduation, and I mentioned friends. And I don't mention Naomi, Chris, Carla, but damn, I should have, because those people got me through it. I just think of all those times where I was so stressed out about comms, and they were giving me those words of affirmations, but not just you got this. It was more hearing me out, being there for me, looking at my notes. Does this look good? Actually giving me good feedback. And something that I really think that is important in a friendship is, I guess, making you feel heard and special. That is something that you make me feel, Jasmine. She gave me flowers for my graduation. When she went to San Francisco, she brought me back a little the animal stickers and a little bolsita. And people that make you feel special, people that make you feel special on your birthday, how me and Rochelle send each other postcards, I love you, this is what's going on in my life. People who make you feel special, people who make you feel loved. The last thing I want in my life is somebody putting me down or saying girl, you ain't all that, why you acting like that, or oh, why you all dressed up for, girl, what, you should be hyping me up right now. Don't put me down because you dress down. Dress up. Put me up so I can put you up, girl. But I don't have many friends like that in my life. So, I mean, I'm just talking about my butt. But I know people do have friends like that. And I think the difference between childhood friendships and adult friendships is we don't have to be friends with them. Childhood, like, you have that pressure, the social pressure of not sitting alone at lunch. When you're an adult, you don't give a damn who's sitting alone at lunch. You're like, I'm having my lunch, I'm fine. I'll scroll on Instagram, I'll be by myself, I don't care. Like, you're selective with your company. You want to say something about that? Go ahead.
That's exactly what I was going to add and what I was thinking too. I'm like, it's, as an adult, you get to select.
Period.
Right? We mentioned this when we talked about it. When you're younger, it's association.
Yes.
Like, oh, okay. But when you're older, now it's not association. Now, we even talked about this before in the podcast, like, even like with family, right? You choose who you want to be involved with the family, even though it's family. And so it kind of goes the same with friendships, right? Like, you choose who you want as a friendship. And if you decide that, you know what, I'm on a different path, you're on a different path, or your energy is not matching my energy anymore, it's all love, but like, you're selective now. Now you're like, I love you, but from afar. Like, we're just not meant to be friends anymore.
Can I just say a parallel? I'm gonna say a parallel from when you were a child, when you're playing dodgeball or kickball or some type of game. You got 30 people in the class. You need to pick your 15 or whatever the heck half of 30 is. I don't know. You need to pick your people, right? You only got a select amount. So you need to choose who's the best in your eyes, right? But when you're getting married, you don't have a classroom to fill. You get to pick whoever you want from your life. Family, friends, some people acquaintances, I don't know. But you get to choose. It's not just the family, or it's not just friends. It's not just that classroom. It's open to everybody, and that's your life, right? That's the difference between being a child and an adult, is you don't have to put up with anybody. You put up with who you want to put up. That's why I don't feel bad for people who have bad relationships, because I'm like, girl, walk away. Like, walk away. Like, why are you friends with somebody like that? So that was pretty much, I don't even know how to wrap this up, but yeah, that's just how I feel. And I'm so grateful for all my friendships, past, present, and future, those people that I still haven't met yet. Very grateful for it. And I'm so happy that Rochelle's down here in California, because this is like a dream. Like, she lives, last time I seen you was, I started my master's program, and now I finished it. The last time I seen her was in December of 2022. Yeah. So it's so important to appreciate when you see your friends. Even Jazmine. I see Jazmine like once a month, except for this month. Except for last month. I've seen her a lot. But like, appreciate your friends when you see them and make them feel special. And make sure you're aware that the people around you make you feel special.
Yeah, that is just such a beautiful statement, Marilyn. I completely agree with everything that you just said. And it's just, you just know when you met a friend that fills your cup. You were saying earlier, you just know that they're helping you grow, because you can feel it from within, and you can see it. You can see it happen and move and shape your life. You can really feel that transformation from within, and know that if this person is meant to be in my life at this time in my life, then I treasure that friendship, you know. And it's so important to take care of those friendships, to cultivate those friendships, to keep up with them. And setting aside the time to be with them is the gift that you can give to your friend, and to just make sure that that bond stays like as strong as it was when you first met them.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, as always, you guys, all different answers.
Yeah.
But somehow intertwine and relate, you know, they relate to one another.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I do love this episode, and having you here, Rochelle. Thank you for being our first guest.
I know.
And choosing the topic of friendship. Love friends. Friends, yeah. Please share this episode with a friend or a loved one, or maybe even a cousin that you consider a best friend, or like a family member. Yeah, we're all so grateful for all of our friends in our lives. Like I said, past, present, and even future ones we haven't met.
Yes, gratitude is important, and we always share that here. Yes. So, yes, always be grateful for all the chapters of friendships and you never know what life's going to happen.
And be selective with who you're friends with, because they do affect how you think of yourself, how you see the world, and just be wary of who you surround yourself around.
The choices you make.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, exactly.
Be selective, be grateful, spend time and make the time. I think those are all like common things that from this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We really appreciate you guys. And above all else,
we wish you love. Bye, friends.